What have I told you that your competitor's location could be the key to your next marketing win? Today, we'll dissect some genius maneuvers from industry leaders that skyrocketed their brands to stardom. This isn't just about spotlighting success, it's about providing you with actionable insights that can make a difference in your business. We'll share 4 of our favorite marketing campaigns and the strategies behind them. Let's grow. Welcome to the Restaurant Growth Show podcast, where we talk about how operators can use technology to grow their business. We've got a lot to talk about in this episode, but first, let's introduce our guest. As always, you know what? You're not a guest anymore. You're a freaking co-host. I don't know. I don't even know why that's in the script. It's our show together. So as always, we have Jose Albis with more than 25 years of online marketing experience. Jose has successfully founded and operated companies in software and hospitality. Lastly, who am I? My name is Gordon. I am your host. I have over 16 years in the food service industry with more than a decade in technology startups. Jose, how are you doing today?
What's going on?
What is happening?
Good. Excited to share about what other people's creative ideas can do for our listeners, our viewers.
I'm the same. Just even doing a little bit of research and digging into some creative campaigns and seeing what these brands do. But what we want to do here is we want to look at the crux of these campaigns. What tools did they use? And sort of try and break down how average brands that aren't these ginormous, companies, how average brands can use tools similar and tactics and creative similar so that they can accelerate their marketing. And, just looking at some of these examples really had me entertained. And I was like, oh yeah, that would be a fantastic idea. How could we do that in a different space with a different type of a brand? So I'm super, super excited to share these top 4 marketing campaigns from some recognizable brands here. So Jose, why don't you start it off at number 4?
All right. Well, this one is I think it was brilliant because the word of mouth was impossible to avoid. And it was Velveeta who came up with this concept of the Velveeta Martini. And I don't think anybody ever tried it because it looks disgusting.
I'll tell you what, I am not drinking a Velveeta Martini right away.
It's like a Velveeta infused vodka. And it's so disgusting that I think everybody was talking about it. But everybody was talking about Velveeta, which is at the end of the day, what really they were probably trying to achieve. I don't even know if actually they made it. It just looks so terrible.
There you have it. Happy golden hour.
Give it a go. Very nice. So a little shock and awe from Velveeta.
That's right.
I'm curious to know how did they roll it out? What mediums did they use? What channels?
Well, all digital. You would see it on YouTube. You would see it on, but basically very, very shareable media that I think it achieved it because it made it to in the news and everybody was talking about it. When you make it to the news because you do that shock and all, it's because you made something good. And that Velveeta is it's a huge brand, old brand, and I personally don't like it, but if you on top of that add a cheese martini, I'm gonna talk about it.
I mean, you don't like Velveeta cheese?
It's not my not much. It's too processed for my taste.
It absolutely is processed. I remember eating Velveeta cheese slices in the little plastic wrappers when I was a kid, when I wanted a little snack.
Right.
And what I remember best about Velveeta, see, Velveeta's they're working already because they're taking us down memory lane. There's a lot of
Yeah.
nostalgia there.
Yeah.
I remember, mom and dad making Velveeta grilled cheese sandwiches. And have you ever had a Velveeta cheese
Of
sandwich?
course, of course.
Okay.
As a kid, I do remember as a kid. Yeah, of course, I did enjoy it. It was, but it didn't last too long for me to grow out of Velveeta.
Right. So Jose did like Velveeta cheese, but as a kid,
Right,
nowadays I can't remember the last time I had one
of
of
course.
those Velveeta cheese grilled cheese sandwiches. But now that we're talking about it, I could go for one. I mean, who doesn't like a grilled cheese sandwich? But as an adult, you get you go with the sharper cheddar, and then you get some like good mustard in there. So it's like it's a different flavor palette, I guess you could say, the older we get. But for those people out there who have kids and they start to think about Velveeta, they're like, they probably want to make their kids a Velveeta grilled cheese sandwich.
Martini.
What's that?
A Velveeta martini for the kids.
No. I mean, hold the cheese. We can have a vodka cocktail. You better believe it. But see, this is great because they've done an incredible job of making us walk down memory lane. All of the nostalgia. I remember being barefoot in the kitchen, going through the fridge. Mom, there's nothing to eat. Like, figure it out, and then you just grab a couple of cheese slices and put those back, and that tied me over till dinner, right? So
Yeah.
that's awesome. That is a great example of a marketing campaign reviving a brand and obviously repositioning themselves with sort of like anti-marketing, right? Like I would never, no one
Right.
would ever want a cheese martini. For those mixologists that are listening, if there is such a thing as a cheese martini, add it in the comments and maybe we'll do a taste test.
Now, on that same note, I mean, the important thing I think the takeaway for operators is that innovate, bring something new so that people talk about it, and name it weird, make it extravagant, even if not for the success, but for the word out. Right? It doesn't have to. It could be. I mean, not to that extreme, but just bring something new that people will talk about. It reminds me of our local Floyd's Diner with the Mahoney.
The
You remember
famous
that?
Mahoney.
The famous Mahoney.
Yes. Let me pull that up real quick here. Floyd's. Here we go. I got them on the website. So if you've ever heard of the Mahoney at Floyd's, you're in for a treat. Peter Floyd's owner and operator developed this original and unique idea with customer service and participation at the forefront. It's for all you rebels, it says here on the website. Food fanatics and risk takers, come one, come all. Nothing but a healthy appetite can prepare you for the Mahoney. Simply tell your waiter or waitress, bring me the Mahoney, and you'll soon be facing something unique from our savvy cooks. The cooks prepare whatever they feel like making you. Just tell us if you want breakfast or lunch. I remember this indeed. I don't think I ever ordered the Mahoney, but I do remember this buzzing through the city for years and years.
I did.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yes,
All right.
and I want it. I want it free.
Oh, fantastic. So the last part of the website says here, feeling lucky, there's a good chance you won't have to pay for the Mahoney, but it's up to you. You can either pay the original price or flip a coin for double or nothing. If you win, we pay you for the meal, but if we win, you pay double the price of the Mahoney. Visit our location to see just how lucky you are. This is great. That's an out of the box type of a campaign. I love that. That's really great. Not to mention walking down memory lane. It wasn't just Velveeta cheese. Floyd's did a great job with the Mahoney. That was a dish for years and years and years. That's fantastic. Thanks for bringing that up. All right, with number 3 of our top 4 favorite marketing campaigns, and actually it's 5 now because of Floyd's Mahoney, which I love. So number 3, I want to share this gem from Dunkin' Donuts. This was recent. Their TikTok strategy wasn't a roll of the dice; it was precision and insight. They didn't just hire a superstar; they collaborated with TikTok's Charlie D'Amelio, who's this incredibly famous TikTok artist with millions and millions of followers. So they strategically introducing Charlie as a beverage. On day 1, they saw a 57% surge in app downloads and a 20% sales jump. It's very impressive. Here's the thing that Dunkin' did, though. They turned in-house and they molded their own employees into brand ambassadors on TikTok. It was very genuine and it was authentic and it resonated with the audience. Now, obviously, not all brands are able to tap a multi-million dollar or multi-million follower brand ambassador or celebrity like Charlie D'Amelio, but there are local influencers with a genuine follower base that can yield better engagement and more meaningful connections. So operators can seek them out. You can partner up with them. And it gives your brand a voice that's both trusted and relatable. I hear this over and over again. I don't think that the term influencer marketing is definitely overplayed, but the actual use of bringing in influencers is not. I think that brands can use micro influencers, if you want to call them, to review their food, come in and talk about their food or their brand. I think that's a really useful and a logical play for any restaurant. And I just don't think enough brands are doing that because maybe they think it's overdone or they don't have the opportunity or the reach to be able to leverage these types of personalities. What do you think about an influencer marketing play for brands, Jose?
Oh, absolutely. I've done a few with micro influencers, and it works really well. We did it for a dispensary. She then worked for them, but when at the time she had like 14,000 followers, all local, all from the local university, and she was also a student, so it was super legit and attracted a lot of people, and everybody followed her. And she was one of the first, how to say it, during the gray area for dispensaries. She was very vocal and open about it. So there was pictures of her doing pictures of hers with the brand, and it was evident. The younger people, the younger crowd was coming, and the brand became quite hip.
I think that makes the most sense now for restaurants because they're all pushed into this digital space over the past 4 years because of the pandemic and where they're at now, that the evolution of technology with restaurants, bringing in not necessarily an influencer, but a micro influencer, like you mentioned, with a smaller following of 15,000 or so, and getting them to talk about download our app for first party online ordering, right? Because we know that restaurants struggle with getting that those first party orders. And so that makes perfect sense to me to bring in maybe not just one, but several over the course of a quarter or half year or even a year, and bringing them in to talk about download our app, use the app. You want to order directly from us anyways, and have that conversation, extended to their followers.
So number 2, there's a brand that, even though, I've spoken to them, to the owner, but I've not had the chance to try them. But the food looks amazing, and the chain has grown quite a bit in Canada. And the name is Osmos, and it's Middle Eastern food. And there's 2 pieces to this for me. One was that they invented, and this is something that any brand can do, the Shawarma Day, National Shawarma Day, which actually it's in about 16 days. It's on October 15th. And I thought that was brilliant because nobody had done it, and they coined something that it's very memorable. And the other part of this that I like about them was a total surprise for me. It was during the World Cup, and they had an ad that had someone running with a shawarma after a fall. So there was a foul was committed, and then this guy comes running with a shawarma in his hand and just like, Habibi, Habibi, I'll fix you. So it's about the fix, right? It's fixing the hunger, fixing. I thought it was super endearing to me. I mean, I love soccer, as you know, and so for me it was quite surprisingly warming to see a shawarma guy running into the field, and I thought it was brilliant because they are so expanding really fast, and it always makes me happy to see our local brands or someone that I've met be that successful.
That's great. So the use of comedy, I bet you, was hilarious to see.
Yes.
Exactly. Someone run on the field with a shawarma.
Yeah.
Now, were they running in like it was they were an official and they were giving like a yellow card or like a red card sort of thing?
No, the fault happened, and he just came basically to fix the guy. It was like everything was.
Oh, it was like an injury.
Yes,
it was
yes,
like
a
they were like a medic coming on the field trying to heal this guy with shawarma.
Correct.
Because he was hurt
all
from
you need
hunger.
Is a shawarma. All you need is a shawarma.
Clearly, shawarma is the cure to all that ails you. Obviously,
it's the fix.
So the use of comedy never gets old. Having a sense of humor about your own brand and being able to poke fun at yourself with something like this, I think that's a fantastic example. And people really gravitate towards humor and comedy within a brand, right? It's memorable, and it gives you a good feeling all over, just like having a quality meal at their restaurant. You know, shawarma is going to make you smile, and it's going to fill you up at the same time.
Right. That's right.
Pretty fantastic. That's awesome. Great. Okay. So at number 1 of our top 4 favorite marketing campaigns, this one comes from Burger King. They have been known to do some pretty wild and out of the box type of marketing strategies. This one was a Whopper for a penny, but there was a twist. To get the deal, people needed to go to McDonald's. So in Burger King's words, they transformed over 14,000 McDonald's locations into pseudo Burger King outlets. How did they do this? So by leveraging geolocation technology within their app. I know, Jose, you're going to love this because you love geolocation technology. So what the users did was they opened up the Burger King app on their phone, and they had to get within 600 feet within a McDonald's. They didn't have to actually go into the McDonald's, but within 600 feet, and then boom, the Whopper for a penny deal unlocked on their phone. So once the deal unlocked on their phone, the order went in, and the app then detours the user from the McDonald's to the nearest Burger King for pickup. This is incredible. This was back in 2018. I don't remember this personally, but just looking online here, there was a whole bunch of media coverage. Talk about guerrilla tactics and using your biggest competitor. I mean, there's no bigger competition than McDonald's, especially between Burger King and McDonald's. They're so closely related. I thought this was fantastic. This, to me, is thinking outside of the box. You don't think about, okay, my closest competitors, how can I use them to drive customers to my location? What do you think about that?
Well, I think that it's, speaking of fun and memorable, this twist of sending them to your competitors so that they come back, it's literally a fantastic twist. right? And it like I cannot stop imagining being McDonald's and saying like, oh, what's going on with that? Like if McDonald's was a person, it's like, oh my God, it's like when you come running. I remember as a kid and my uncle would open his arms and then you pass by and don't hug them.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's kind of rude, right? Like coming in for a
Exactly.
hug, right? Coming in
Yeah,
for a hug,
exactly.
but then they walk
The-
past you and
But
they
if
hug the
hug
person
was
next
for
to you.
someone else, or the classic that you think someone's looking at you and smiling, and then you're like, oh, it's not
Yeah,
me.
who
Oh,
me?
person
Who
behind.
me? No,
Yeah,
no, no. Yeah, the other
yeah,
person. Yeah, okay, yes. I think we've
do
all
I know you?
experienced that level of awkward.
Exactly.
Awesome. So that concludes our top 4 favorite marketing campaigns. Let us know in the comments what your favorite out of the box, wacky, kind of crazy marketing campaigns that you've come across, whether it's a restaurant or not. That just helps us all think outside of the box and think, how can I apply that to my brand? What tools do I have at my fingertips? How can we implement that? That's it for us for this week. Quick little side note, this is episode 20, a momentous episode for the Restaurant Growth Show. Jose knows a little bit more about why episode 20 is such a benchmark for us. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Well, because there is a little number of podcasts that make it to number 20. This puts us in the 1% of podcasts around the world, and so it's a big milestone for us. And thanks to anybody that sees this, because it's because of you that we do it, and because of you we've done it.
Absolutely. Congratulations, my friend. It's been a pleasure shooting these, recording these episodes alongside you with all of our great guests and all of our crazy topics that we've gone through. It's been an absolute pleasure. This podcast is sponsored by Dynpricing, real-time restaurant profitability. Dynpricing uses artificial intelligence to improve profitability for restaurants by dynamically updating menus across digital channels. That's it for us for episode 20 of the Restaurant Growth Show. Thank you for tuning in. Until next week, we'll see you then. Say goodbye, Jose.
Goodbye, Jose.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
There you have it. Happy golden hour.
Give it a go. Very nice.